The scene opens. In May 1972, at a typical university party soaked in artistic ego and theatrical pretension, Richard Collier, a theater student freshly intoxicated by his first real taste of success, celebrates as if he's already won a Tony Award. In the middle of the festivities, an elderly woman, clearly not the target demographic for the party, walks across the room, ignores the loud music, and places an old golden pocket watch in his hand. With all the drama only destiny can muster, she pleads, "Come back to me," and leaves without any explanation. Richard's girlfriend asks who the woman was. He has no idea. Great start, universe. The elderly woman returns home, visibly shaken, while her maid tries to make small talk about the play. Emotionally silent, the woman retreats to her bedroom, clutches a book of Richard's plays to her chest, and sits in a rocking chair, as someone who already knows exactly how this story will end, and is not thrilled about it. The audience doesn't know it yet, but time is already having fun at everyone's expense. 8 years later, Richard is a successful playwright in Chicago, single, creatively blocked, and dramatically tired of himself. Instead of therapy, which would have been cheaper, he decides to travel to the Grand Hotel. While wandering through the hotel's museum, Richard becomes hypnotized by an unidentified portrait, a stunningly elegant young woman with a gaze that screams, "Temporal trouble ahead." Naturally, he instantly falls in love with someone he's never met. With the help of Arthur Beale, a hotel employee who's been there since 1910, because nothing says reliable source like someone who's seen 3 centuries begin, Richard discovers the woman is Elise McKenna, a famous stage actress from 1912. Digging obsessively, he realizes that Elise was actually the same elderly woman who gave him the watch and who died shortly after attending his play. Yes, things escalate quickly. Elise's former governess confirms everything, recognizes the watch, and reveals personal belongings, including a book about time travel and a music box that plays Rachmaninoff, of course also Richard's favorite composer, because destiny does not believe in subtlety. Richard seeks out the author of the book, Professor Finney, who explains that time travel is possible through self-hypnosis and sheer willpower, something that definitely doesn't appear in any serious scientific manual. Warned about the risks, Richard ignores them all, like any proper romantic protagonist. He isolates himself, dresses in period clothing, and tries to convince himself that it's 1912. He fails miserably several times, until he finds the hotel guest book with his own signature dated 1912. Nothing builds confidence like seeing your own handwriting in the past. Convinced, Richard hypnotizes himself once more and wakes up in 1912. As excited as a child with a newly built time machine, he searches the hotel for Elise. When he finally finds her, she immediately recognizes him, because of course she's been waiting for him all along. The obstacle comes in the form of William Robinson, Elise's controlling manager, who interferes, lies, and tries to keep them apart. Still, Richard persists. He dances with Elise, gets kicked out, comes back, insists some more, and it works. Romance requires stubbornness. Elise confesses that she always knew a man would change her life. Richard shows her the pocket watch, closing one of those time paradoxes that make physicists cry. He watches her perform on stage, where Elise, in an emotional trance, practically declares her love in front of the audience. During an intermission, she poses for a photograph, the very same one that would captivate Richard decades later in the museum. Yes, time is a perfect circle and also a massive gossip. Enraged, Robinson has Richard arrested and tries to convince Elise that he abandoned her. Spoiler, it doesn't work. Richard escapes, runs after her, nearly loses everything, but they reunite and finally get to be together. Elise asks him to spend the rest of his life with her. Richard agrees. Everything seems perfect until he finds a 1979 penny in his pocket. One tiny Lincoln cent shatters the entire illusion. Time drags Richard back with all the gentleness of a runaway truck. Richard returns to the present devastated, weak, and emotionally destroyed. Unable to travel back in time, he wanders the hotel, relives memories, and sinks into grief until he dies of a broken heart. His spirit finally reunites with Elise in eternity, because if it doesn't work out in life, Hollywood makes sure it works out after it. It's almost as romantic as Titanic, which I already brought to the channel, but YouTube blocked it. If you want me to bring another version, just write "I want it" in the comments. This film was inspired by a novel written by Richard Matheson, who also appears in the movie as Professor Finney, essentially writing the rules of the game himself. Now here's the question for you. If you had the chance to travel through time for love, would you trust the power of the mind, or would you check your pockets first? Don't forget to check out the other videos on the channel. I'll see you there.